Yes, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon for those who are still up. So today we actually going to discuss about what has been happening. The development has been happening on Trinidad and Tobago. We actually know that there was a YouTuber known as Christmas List. He is a Canadian YouTuber who was actually recently arrested and arraigned to court, and he's facing a sedition charges, so he's yet to still visit the court in next week on Thursday. So he decided to actually stay around in Trinidad and Tobago and continue with his life as he waits for his D-Day on in the court. So I just talked about it. I was like, all of these 2 weeks for me, it has been a lot of. There's too much, a lot of. Is it like anxiety? Can I say? Can you say confusion? Can I say a stressing moment? Yeah, all that has been the my position has been happening for the last 2 weeks regarding this case, and it has actually brought a lot of questions, and it has actually exposed most of the things, like, traveling as a vlogger on tourist visa. Are you supposed to be making videos? Are you working? So we are trying to understand all this, but I actually decided to look into it deeply, and I realized we might be missing something very important, and that is the tourism of Trinidad and Tobago. I did my own research. I was amazed. And tonight I just said, let's go into this topic about tourism of Trinidad and Tobago. I think this whole case is actually blocking this particular area that needs to be talked about, and I think many people should be talking about it right now, since that Trinidad has become something on the media. A lot of people are doing videos about it on YouTube. A lot of TV stations are involved. This They have gotten this recognition for being the best tourism destination in Africa.
Your audio appears to be cutting out.
Discuss more about this topic in extensive matters. Welcome.
All right, all right. So let's talk about tourism, because one thing I've noticed throughout this whole situation is that many people are not really focusing anything on tourism, and it's like, it makes you wonder how this case is affecting tourism in Trinidad and Tobago. And I've been looking at a few, not
Sure.
gotten deep into it, but been looking at a few images and stuff like that. I know that Tobago is a smaller island, and from my live stream earlier, Catherine was saying that there's no industry on that island; it's mainly for tourism. And or we talked a little bit in the backstage. I think that's when she told me that. But I'm kind of wondering, with some of the images that I'm looking at, I noticed that there's islands that appear to be much smaller than Tobago, than what you would see on a map looking from from a global view. So I'm thinking they got a bunch of little islands as well, and these are not really being promoted that much by visitors, except maybe in very small circles. So I would like to know more about Trinidad and Tobago, because it's so close to where I am, and I really know nothing about the island, about the two nation island. So, or the two island nations, excuse me. So what is it that that you have found? Because that's what I found. I found many beautiful things there, many beautiful pictures, um, a great mixture of people as far as cultures and things like that. What have you found?
So before even I speak about what I found, I realized that with actually with this situation, like we've just talked about, like many people do not know about Trinidad and Tobago, and the only thing that I knew myself personally was about the athletes, and I've spoken to many times that I knew Trinidad would be very good in short races or field events, 400, 1000, 5000 meters. So that's what I know Trinidad about. So I did not know a lot about Trinidad. And actually, one surprising thing, I was trying to understand, why is the color red? And even in their coat of arms, I will be playing the video here, a short clip of the pictures that we got from the internet. I've been looking into what what is it with the color red. I never understood the color red because I just wanted to know more, and I realized that they have a bird that is similar to a flamingo, but the color is actually red, and I think it has to it's actually related to the country's flag, and also the on the coat of arms, and it's like it's like the symbol of the country. That's what I'm finding out slowly, and I'm also finding the same too, that they have beautiful beaches, and they have small little pocket islands where they could be actually government could be actually exploring more into this, and just look into having these places out there for tourism, create recreational facilities there, maybe build hotels, maybe put gyms, maybe put saunas. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could actually be done, but I'm finding it to be sad. Since 1990, they have been having gangs in this particular region of the country, and somehow has been affecting business, actually, in particular the port of Spain. So for me, I believe that they, like what you actually you said when you are with Kavin in the show. Even Kavin said, I think Trinidad has the most um, uh, well, they have the responsibility of actually putting Trinidad in the right position. But I don't think another foreigner will come and try and fix it. Actually, in most cases, it normally goes the wrong way. Instead of fixing, they're actually breaking it, because I believe people's culture and how way people see stuff and their perspective are different in how people see each other. So, depending on a foreigner to come and change, I don't think that's a solution. So those are the things that I notice, and I'm also noticing that they have a very difficult situation about the politics, and I think it's because of what happened in 1990, and they're still trying to find the way out. So we wish them all the best, but all withstanding, I believe the Trinidad people are very welcoming. They're warm people. I've interacted with many. They have given me their divergent views, and I've realized that these are people actually who are being taken the wrong way, and people need to speak about what is supposed to be done about Trinidad, and what is the best way to promote Trinidad. So that's what I've been finding all along.
Yeah, so mainly what I want to do right now is what I'm finding and what I'm hearing from people who are actually from there is I want to go there. I want to see how the island is. I want to see what that island is about, so close to the U.S. With my own eyes and everything like that, right? So that's what tourists do. I want to go there and I want to relax.
Yes.
I want to go there. I want to go there and take in all the beauty that I am seeing. There's the place is beautiful. That's what I want to do. I want to get a little more history, not just online, but while I'm there, I want to get some history from there. So who knows? Maybe they have driving tours. I know Jamaica, you can take a tour all around the whole island. I don't remember how many hours it takes, but you can actually hire a car and take a tour. So maybe they have something like that similar in Trinidad. And basically you can talk to the person who's driving and talk about the history of the country, or what this thing here means when we're over here, what that is over there, talking about the flag, for example. That's what I want to do. If I can afford to go to Trinidad at some point someday, these are the things that I want to do personally, and I want to be able to experience that, whether if I'm by myself or I'm with my significant other, it doesn't matter. So, but yeah, let's roll that clip and just see a little bit of what Trinidad and Tobago has to offer. You're on mute.
So sorry. I actually have a video that is showing about Trinidad and Tobago, and I think it's something that everyone needs to see. There's a lot of culture that is involved. They have beautiful waterfalls. They have an yearly event that they show their culture. They go to the streets, dance. They have beautiful beaches around there, very beautiful lagoons too. Lagoons are places whereby the ocean comes into the land and it creates a U curve, a curve inside the land. So I think that's the name of the lagoon. If people who do not know what the lagoon is, and even when African Tigress was there, she was taking actually a boat to go to those particular places because it was not easy to access those places because of the I think it was about the rocks or also the height, so you could only access it through the boats. So it's actually a very spectacular place. And one thing I'm also noticing, I think it's something common in the Caribbean islands, that they have clean. Oh, this is the national bird, I think, of Trinidad. So what I noticed that they have very clean water bodies. In terms of, like, I don't know, maybe let's talk about rivers. Maybe the ocean is just the same with what we have in Africa, but their rivers are very, very clean. Their water is crystal sparkling clean. And I'm also seeing I think these are some of the Canary dietaries in Trinidad. So I notice a lot is being taken for granted. I think this is also a place where you could do snorkeling, go see the wildlife in the water, because there's wildlife on the land and there's also wildlife in the water. So I think there's too much into this country that is actually being blocked right now with the negative that is going on with the case. I don't know who is right. Either Chris is right, either the government was wrong, or it was right in doing whatever they did to Chris. So there's a lot of confusion. But right now, I think it's affecting the tourism of the country. I don't know what you have to say yourself.
Well, definitely. I can't remember who said it now, but I believe it was Davey actually said it, that negativity really does sell, and that's what a lot of people are on YouTube and Facebook to check out, is the negativity. But besides that, there's a big tourism community out there that doesn't get involved in watching negative stuff. Basically, that's just not their niche. Their niche is to travel, to experience life, to experience a
Yes.
good time. And they have their own personal reasons of why they're going to be doing it. The thing is that there's new people out there that dream of traveling, of being part of that tourist community, or maybe creating their own groups, right? And
Mhm.
this might have been on one of their bucket lists. This particular country might have been on that bucket list to go, because they've seen a few images and stuff like that, or they've talked to a few people from Trinidad and Tobago that might be living in their neighborhood, and so now they want to experience. But now when they go and see this, it's what's been happening with the case and everything. It's like, okay, now I'm not sure if I want to go, right?
Yes.
So basically, they're letting the little bit of bad news interfere with their travel plans, which in turn is
Yeah.
hurting the island as far as more income, more um what do I want to say? More money coming in to generate more
Foreign
money
exchange.
for the country. Yeah.
Yeah, foreign
So
exchange.
right. And what comes with tourists when they leave? When they have a good experience in your country, they leave and they tell other people. So word of mouth is, before the internet, has always been a great thing, a great advertising tool that's free for any country, is when people go ahead and
And actually,
evangelize about. Go ahead.
yeah, I just want to just add that when you give a word of mouth, it tends to give a very effective marketing exposure out there. People will trust the people that they have said to them who they know, rather than what they see on the TV or on the other medias.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, it's like, for example, I know some people complain, for like example, the embassy website for the US, warning their citizens not to come to a
Mm.
country at a particular time, or to watch out for. Well, there are reasons why they do that. It is to give you, well, you could call it a warning, or you can call it being informative. What they're not saying is, you can't go to the
Yes,
country, or
education.
don't go to the country. They're saying, be careful of going to this area, or this particular situation, this political situation is going on between this date and that date. So things like that, when people are looking for tourists to come to the country and they read those websites for those types of warnings or informative information, they should not get, how should I say it, offended by that, because it actually is the responsibility of the government to do that for its citizens. So if Trinidad did that and saying that, okay, everybody going to visit Japan, well, all of a sudden, since the last 2 years, this particular city in Japan, they've been having all types of robberies. That's just an example. It's not really happening. It's just an example. And they have every right to warn their citizens about, try to avoid this particular location when you visit Japan and have a good time on vacation. It makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. But if you look at America, America has got a lot of issues in a lot of places. We have issues with with people robbing people that are from here. We have issues with some immigrants that are doing the same thing as some of the locals. We have gang issues in certain areas. We have a lot of drugs in other areas. But most of these areas, when you really think about it, are usually not in the areas where the tourists are going to go, or where what's being advertised about the U.S. So the Grand Canyon, for example, the biggest canyon in the world, is a huge tourist site. It's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in the U.S., where people go to see this awesome canyon, right? But you don't see any bad news about it, other than maybe somebody got hurt, going down the trail, because you can get on donkeys and they have these little trail tours, right? Maybe somebody didn't follow the rules and they fell off the donkey and they got hurt, stuff like that. But what you're not going to hear is like, well, people are getting robbed there, people are getting stuff stolen, from their back pockets and all that, because that's not what's going on there. That's not the norm, right? But you go to another place in America, something like that would be the norm. Not to say it's normal, but that's what would be the norm. It'd be more normal in those other areas. So what I'm saying is, every government with their tourism board or what have you has the right to warn their citizens about X, Y, and Z when you go to this country. But however, I'm not going to let that keep me from going to that country unless there's like all out war, something like that. Then of course I'm not going to go. You know what I mean? Of course I'm not going to go. If the cost is too expensive that even rich people will complain, of course I'm not going to go, right? There has to be like a really good reason for me not to go. If I have the means and I have the time, I'm going to go there and I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy. We have T and K in the chat. Thank you for coming in. So what say you?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Welcome, TNK. So with me, I believe that you know this creating of fear or what is published on the media. Some people are not strong to actually handle any negativity or anything wrong, and mostly when they are traveling to a particular area. I know of many friends who have actually cancelled their flights because of just simple notification that whatever wherever they're going, they're actually going to face slightly racism, talk about discrimination, talk about terror attacks, talk about not only terror attacks but also like change of just any media. Like yesterday there was like floods. I remember when a friend of mine was supposed to visit Dubai, but ended up cutting the whole Dubai visit when Dubai went on floods. And we actually even told him like the floods didn't even last for three days, but they were like, no, I'm not going to Dubai until next year. So I'm like, will you be going next year when again it will be the time that possibly could be flooding? I think we still go. So for me, that's what I'm actually concerned with it. Like people should be actually promoting positivity on this tourism of Trinidad. I think for me personally, I believe that the government allowed the whole story to go public in a different direction. I think they never maybe they underestimated maybe the arrest will lead to nothing, to just be a normal case. The thing is that we're also dealing with somebody who's very clever. He knows how to find his way out. He decided to private his videos, and also he decided to change the whole scenario, because what I noticed is that he changed the scenario to him making the mistake, but this is a political case. I don't know if people have not. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, but I think I noticed that they changed the whole story to be like, oh, they are targeting me because of politics, next year's elections. The opposition is fighting with the government. So I think this is where I'm finding um what can I say? I'm finding like there's a lot of things involved that is making him get away with this case. I don't know who is actually now doing the advice is getting right now. They seems to be working on him rather than before when he was just doing it alone. Because I noticed when he was doing it alone, he's kind of like exposing himself or putting himself in danger, and not explaining as much as what could have been required of him to explain to get himself out of the case. So there's a lot happening, and I think um, the government need to look into it also, because things could go out of hand.
Yeah, I'm actually have a screen share. If you could put that up on the screen, I just want to show some different images of Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, the same screen share.
Yeah, do you know how to? No, 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 no. I actually have a website up that's showing
No,
images. So it should say
okay.
share screen. Yeah, should see it with the Tobago flag. It's not highlighted. If you click the three dots, it should say share.
Um, okay, I'm trying to. No, no, not there. Yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard
Well,
to understand how to use it.
okay. So
Okay.
you have a present. Go under present, and
No,
then
I have comments, banners, and brand,
okay.
unless I change it to. Okay. I have post, layouts, private chats, stream info, settings, cancel.
Yeah, we'll just
It
go ahead and
might be
forget
hard
it.
for me to get it right now.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead
Okay.
and stop sharing the screen. So we'll forget about
Or
that.
maybe you could just, yeah, or maybe you could send it to me. Is this StreamYard layout?
No, it's a website. It's a website to look at images.
Okay. What could be the link?
Let me send it to you via IG.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, man, it's really sad when you look into it, when you look into it seriously in a very close angle, like what could be the issue. I don't know. Maybe I should just copy it on the comment section. Maybe people could check it. If I will be, it will be hard for me to
Yeah, just
actually post it.
I would just forget about it. We can learn to do that later because right now it's going to be too many difficulties. So I'll just wait on it for another day.
Yes, I just posted maybe the link. Somebody could actually click it later.
Okay.
So yeah, I
So
lost. Mhm.
so basically, what I'm saying is that another thing that I'm saying is that you know we need to focus. Like for example, even Kenya. Kenya is like one of the most visited countries in Africa, but
Yes.
still we have issues sometimes in our country to where we have a hard time. Not, I'm not talking about the low peaks of when visitors are not coming. I'm talking about even in the high peaks. Sometimes there'll be situations of negativity, like say a terrorism attack, right? And when that happens during the peak season, what happens in Kenya? We get an influx of people not coming in,
True.
and so we've experienced that in Kenya. And of course, when you go on the off season, ticket prices are cheaper because they're trying to, like all over the world, trying to entice people to go ahead and take a vacation, because tickets to go to vacation spots are not in high demand as they
Mm-hmm.
would be, during peak season. So so I would encourage people to do that. I would also encourage okay, I would also encourage I got this neighbor with this motorcycle that loves to be loud on purpose for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I would actually encourage people to don't worry about, like, say if it happens again in Kenya, don't be afraid to go to Kenya during the peak season or the low season. It doesn't matter. You could just go, because think about it. If it was somebody that was attacked, like there was a hotel that was attacked a few years ago, right? And actually, I was in Kenya at the time when it happened. Now, that hotel
Mm-hmm.
does not represent the entire vast majority of Kenya, much less the city of Nairobi. And so, what I'm trying to say is that this was a very well planned out attack that was meant for one day, and it was only for that hotel. So there's hundreds of
Yes.
hotels in Nairobi. So they don't have the capacity to attack hundreds of hotels in one day. They just don't. And so when you're taking in like news that's showing a negative part, but it's news that's important to watch and listen to, don't let that be the reason it scares you from going to that location. You know what I mean? So there's no war going on in Trinidad. There's no war going on in Kenya. So when you think about it for yourself as a traveler, you can make the decision to not go and maybe just go to the surrounding areas. But if you really want to go to that place and you have your connections in either place, especially if somebody's going to meet up with you and show you around, don't be afraid to do it. The likelihood of that happening is very slim, that it's going to happen to you while you're on your travels to that location. Like you're going to be one of the victims or a hostage or whatever. Don't buy into that, because just know that it's there, but also know that in the United States we have hostage situations as well. Anytime that there's a
Yeah.
bank robbery, just about, there's almost always a hostage situation if they got caught in the bank when the police are outside. So the thing is that the likelihood of that happening with you being there at that time is very slim. So don't let that be the reason why you don't go to the bank or to visit a country.
That's true. I'm also slowly learning how to differentiate threats and mere sheer campaign to put a country in a very bad position. I don't know if you remember, Kenya in 1992 was put in a very bad position where some pictures were taken from Kenya and Ethiopia, and actually the worst one was from Ethiopia. I wouldn't want to speak about it too much, but I think the worst pictures came from Ethiopia, where a kid uh, was actually starving, and the person took a picture about it, and it really did a very big damage to East Africa. And I don't know, maybe this could be the motivation why East Africa right now is moving ahead in terms of development. Even though Africa has its own shortcomings, mismanagement of funds from the politicians, right now they have upped their game. Yes, I wouldn't say that there is no corruption. There is some part of corruption. We are losing money, but you could actually see something happening on ground in this particular of East Africa, the East African countries. You could realize I don't know, there's just a zeal, and people are trying to prove something, or people are just trying to become better, maybe from the learning from the experiences. So I believe this also should happen the same to Trinidad. Like, yes, something happened, Chris came and did whatever did, those are cool, and the government has been struggling to find it's not. I believe that there's always room for improvement and also room to just change things for the better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So,
Hmm.
do you want to visit Trinidad?
Yes, I will highly actually want to visit Trinidad, and even when I want to visit Trinidad, I'm thinking of not me going to visit there working alone, but actually w- visiting and connecting with the people that genuinely connecting with people. Now when I talk about connecting with people, not the way Christmas did it, but just connect, understand the culture, what type of food you eat, what are the norms of culture here, what are your belief system. And for a fact, I never knew that Trinidad has a lot of diversity. The diversity in Trinidad is very big. I don't think Jamaica has that kind of diversity that Trinidad has. I was shocked
Yeah,
to see that. I forgot even to say that before.
yeah, we have RMGO. Thank you for coming in, Fake Ray. We also have Ranks Trinidad.
Mhm.
RMGO is saying Trinidad and Tobago has ecotourism, the oldest protected rainforest. TNT is
Oh,
industrial nation. We don't depend on tourism. So yeah, ecotourism does attract a lot of people, and that's something that I'm. Let me actually just look it up real quick and see how many hits I get with ecotourism in Trinidad, because money is money. When it comes in, it benefits. Okay, so I got a few things, and they're mainly from the same websites. Go Nomad. Okay, a few videos, a couple of Facebook profiles. But there's really not much going into Trinidad. Starts going from Trinidad name to Caribbean islands and stuff like that. So that's what I'm getting. So there's a little bit out there, but there's not much. So ecotourism is very popular with certain groups of people who are part of tourism groups as well as individuals. So that right there could definitely be a good money generation for the country. And I think the tourism board, if they're not doing it already, they should push that, because the influx of people coming in just to
mhm.
experience that is very valuable. And I think that would benefit the country, and I think that would benefit people's experience going to the island. Because what's going to happen before and after you're in a national forest, what's going to happen? You're going to actually patronize the businesses in your area where you're going to be staying before you go to
True.
the trail hike, and then when you come back, you're going to do the exact same thing. So this is all good
Yeah.
for the country. It helps to spread the money around a little bit, but it could be to a point to where it gets to be a really big thing. So instead of just, like, I'm not going to say that Trinidad only depends on Carnival for tourists, but this can be an added addition to that. That could actually be something pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Uh,
from where I come from in Kenya, it's the region that I come from is very heavily depending on tourism, and I know people. There's a lot of
your audio went out.
I have the website visittrinidad.com. I will just put the link here about Trinidad and visit Trinidad. So the government actually promotes Trinidad and Tobago. So for me, I
Yeah,
believe uh, yes,
yeah. I found the website on my own, Eco Tours. So it's visit Trinidad, Trinidad.tt. And it took me to the link, things to
yes,
do, tours, Eco Tours. And yeah, so they have the website up. That's ready to go. But is the government
mm,
actually promoting it outside of the website? Are they making promotions in other places for people to visit this website. I'd be curious to know what the actual hit count is per day and per month. How many people visit this site? There is ways to do that online. Actually, you can check other websites. I haven't done it in a while, but that would be a curious thing to find out. How many people actually know about this website to visit it, and then make plans to go and visit the island? And because what I'm seeing here is this place is very beautiful. Got many things you can do, and this is just
Very,
for the
very, very,
ecotours.
very, very good. Mhm. And actually, even
Yeah,
the website tells you where you need to visit. It gives you red alerts. The government has put an effort. So I believe the government wants to, but maybe sometimes government cannot do everything. It has now to be the government will just implement the laws that will protect everyone, and now it will work on it will be on the work on the citizens to actually promote this or make it happen or make it even much better.
right, right. So let's see. RMGO says we have people like Trini Surfer, Wayne Gray, Harvest God that promote Trinidad. Okay, so we have some people out there that are doing it. You want tourism go to Jamaica. And but see, that's the thing, before we even started this
That's the
live
thing.
stream, we were already talking about um instead of just going to Jamaica, we were talking about, going to Trinidad because we're interested in Trinidad. So this would be people who are interested in Trinidad, not just Jamaica, because Jamaica's
Mhm.
already got that. Basically, they got the whole
Yeah.
tourism thing down, and they've had it that way for decades. So
Mhm.
RMGO says read Dr. Eric Williams' book.
Yes.
Let's see. Red represents fire, courage, and the sun. So you got your answer there
Oh,
about the
okay.
flag. Okay.
But what is it related to the bird? Because there's also a red bird in the coat of arms. Is it a national? Is it a national bird? The two birds, the black, the gray one, and the red one.
She also says the white represents sea and equality.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Monique says most of the tourists goes to Tobago. It's much more slow pace and better beaches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the place for the beaches and get a slower pace from what she's talking about. Black represents earth, strength, unity, and wealth of the land. Okay, so now you got the answers to what the flag means.
Yes.
Let's see. Well, we also have, okay. She also goes on to say, Trinidad do not depend on tourism. It's an industrial country, and yeah, that's what
That's what
Catherine
I've
was
been
saying.
saying.
Yeah, she said today. Yeah, even before I was speaking before we went live today that I have actually seen clothing, and I don't remember what brands, but I've actually seen clothing in the stores, and sometimes I look to see where they're made, and I have seen some made in Trinidad. So I was asking her, does she know about like companies there that actually will let themselves be hired out so they can make clothing for big brands in other countries. But I
Yes.
have I have seen it. I don't remember the brands. But I used to wear Dockers quite a bit, and with Dockers, you'll see them making a lot of their clothes in Panama. Very little China, but Vietnam. They had some for a while made in Kenya. So that's why I was asking her that question. So that was a backstage conversation. Lots of pioneers in Pan African movement. RMGO says Trinidad and Tobago invented steel pan, Kalspo, Saka, Shootney, Soka, land of hummingbird, land of the limbo. Okay, so there's definitely some unique things about Trinidad that's unique to them in the Caribbean. So, but then again, she says most tourists go to Tobago. Europeans know of us. Okay. Um, but it'd be interesting too with this situation with the court case is how has it affected tourism in the last week, if anything, or since the videos
Yes,
of Christmas list, like how has it affected their tourism, even though they don't need to depend on tourism, but what type of effect has it had? That's what I'd
yeah.
like to know.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of fear, even the YouTubers not wanting to visit, and actually go there because of the people think they will be arrested. Most of the YouTubers who are there ran away as quick as possible. They could leave the country. So I believe that is for those ones who left, but also for those who are planning to visit, or those ones who had the intention, like me, maybe, I don't know, maybe in 1 year, 2 years, I may want to visit Trinidad to go and see it for myself, because it's seeing is believing. But that will put me in a position where I will not start doing a lot of research, and maybe I may not even end up traveling because of the fear of trying to know what could be the possibilities.
Right, exactly. Um,
Mhm.
so let's see. So we have RMGO again says scarlet ibis, national bird of Trinidad. Canrico. Oh no, Cocorico, national bird of Tobago. Oh, okay. So one bird represents one of the islands. You know, I mean, one bird for this island, another
Ah,
bird for that
I
that
think I
island.
think
So
I think the red one is scarlet. Yes,
the red one is what?
the red one could be the scarlet ibis, national bird of Trinidad. Oh yeah, okay, okay. She actually named it. So scarlet is, I think, is the red bird, something or like this.
Yeah, RMGO also says tourists are not really target of gangs. So again, that goes back to me
Hmm.
saying, don't be scared of information. It's
Yes,
not a war torn country where they're actively having major conflicts that anybody at any time, anywhere, could get caught up in some crossfire or what have you. It's not that type of situation in Kenya. It's not that type of situation in Trinidad and Tobago. So, and then for those who don't know, she's from Trinidad, so she's letting us know it's okay to go there. Lots of celebrities come there, and that I do believe. That I do believe. I bet you anything I could do a search on celebrities who have been to Trinidad and Tobago, and we're going to find all kinds of photos and maybe press releases about it.
yes. I actually, I think, I don't know where what the man with the wife met DJ Khaled. Is it Barbados or it was Trinidad? I don't remember, but I think something of sort.
Trinidad and Tobago also has the highest number of ISIS fighters from the Caribbean. So we talk about ISIS as in Islamic extremist, or is it a different ISIS? Um, Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, I read that one. Tourists do not go to gang areas, and yeah, why would you want to go there? And unless
Yeah,
you're, I guess, doing an interview or going there to, volunteer to do something that might be requested and need. You know,
true.
so basically, I don't know. I think Monique says Barbados. Oh, actually, I have a Kenyan friend that was in medical school in Barbados not too long ago. He's now in the U.S. in Baltimore doing his clinical rotations for a year, and then I think he's going to go back to Barbados. But he was in Barbados for about 5 years, and he calls himself Dr. Harry. He has filmed more about Barbados than anybody I've ever seen. He does mostly walking around and stuff like that, long videos. However, if you want to know and see more of the island on the ground, he's probably got the best catalog right now on YouTube for that very thing. So if you're interested in Barbados, check out Dr. Harry. Actually, I'm going to look up his channel. Um, what else do you want to bring up while I'm looking them up?
Yeah, I think most of these countries in Caribbean, it's of more interest for the people from the Caribbean wanting to visit Africa, and I also believe also us from Africa, much of us want to come and visit the Caribbean. It's only that we do not have direct flights, and I think it's not even about tourism. It's just about people connecting with just normal human beings coming up together. Either they were taken from Africa or they are natives of that country. Uh, we need to speak to each other. We need to share notes with what you have learned over the years and also what I've learned from over the years. And I think that is what could bring, the new development that we are seeing.
Yeah, and okay, so everybody,
With
I
the
put the link in the chat there for Dr. Harry, young Kenya man that he just recently went home to Kenya after like being 5 years away. So he's still releasing
Yes.
videos that he hasn't had time to edit or anything about Barbados. So I think that's the only Caribbean country he's been to. But again, he fell in love with the island. It's a great island. It's a great place to go to school, and everything that he's shown is pretty much a positive outlook on the island itself. And again, if you want to see more than just a little bit here and a little bit there, go check out Dr. Harry because he's got a lot to show. But the last 6 months or so, he's been in the U.S. So most of his videos have been about the city of Baltimore and his clinical rotation. So, and recently Kenya because he went home. Okay, so RMGO is saying the Ashanti King visited last year. Oh, that I could see that happen. I could see that happen.
This
Actually,
from
I think
Ghana.
I think I heard that actually. I think I heard that on Aphrodamis's. Somebody on the panel was talking about that very thing actually. One of his live streams, probably in the last couple months. Trinidad is #1 in the Caribbean. Okay, so but number one in what exactly is it? Like for gas and oil or for something else? I'd be curious to know.
For me, there's a lot of things to be considered, or generally. So I see Monique says, what am I about to have a direct flight from 30th to August, 30th to 8th August. You can also check his page to make sure. Yes, I think I know of this, but the problem is that it's a one-way ticket. It's not going to be continuous. I'm looking to a point whereby we'll have continuous flights to Trinidad and Tobago or any other Caribbean island, at least once a week from Africa. For me, that will make sense.
Yeah, exactly. A region of Africa where it would make sense to do that. So like people want to go to and from Kenya, most likely they would have to touch somewhere else down in Africa, probably Ghana or someplace like that, and then take that flight. But
Yeah, rings
right.
runs Trinidad says #1 in all aspects. I don't know about, but I've never heard of music from Trinidad. It's not that common as like Jamaican reggae or dancehall. But I highly understand what you mean. Everybody should stick up for their country, but sometimes it's better to work with facts. And there's nothing wrong about Trinidad because I believe Trinidad is something that people should be speaking more about, and there's a lot into Trinidad. As much as people don't talk about Haiti, or people don't give good publicity about Haiti, I think Haiti is doing something much better, and that is notwithstanding even Trinidad and Tobago. I think there's a lot of things which are actually outstanding. Even the character of the people changes the will of you staying there or understanding how the people live.
Yeah, RMGO. I actually recognize that you and others have said that quite a few times. But for somebody like me or anybody else that actually wants to visit there and enjoy the island, we're basically talking about those people, not being afraid to go there and actually see what Trinidad and Tobago has to offer, which I know is a lot more than the photos that we brought up today. So that's basically what this live stream is about. It's not really too much about Chris. It's just basically the events of what's happening with Chris seems to be, casting a shadow on the country. And so like me growing up, I never heard anything about Trinidad other than it's an island in the Caribbean. That's it. So I had no idea of anything other than that. And with that being said, there's a lot of people out there that want to travel every country in the world, or maybe specifically that region of the world. And so Trinidad would be a part of that. So um, what I do see quite a bit is there's fear mongering right now going on because of Chris's videos,
Yeah.
and people shouldn't be fearing those videos that he put out, as well as other people making comments and stuff, which I understand. If a person doesn't want to go because of a video, there's nothing you can do, but other people might want to actually see what's available there. And if they had more information that they can access, because they may not know what to search for, I think platforms like this and others, if we did more of that, it would just be better for those people so they can visit and actually enjoy your island. um Trinidad and Tobago is a bird watcher paradise. National Geographic have videos on TNT. Also, Naked and Afraid did 2 episodes in TNT. Yeah, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check those out because, like I said, right now, because of the situation, I'm more interested in Trinidad. Even if I never go there, I'm still more interested in Trinidad because I grew up seeing Jamaica
True.
on TV for since I was a little kid, and I'm in my 50s, so that's a given. What I haven't seen is like Barbados. I have not seen Trinidad. Even though the Bahamas, we don't.
Even
Even though
Grenada, people got this.
Bahamas we don't see, even though the only things I see about that is oh, you can go there for a vacation to surf, stay in a big expensive hotel, and that's about it. There's really no other promotion besides that, so it really doesn't tell me anything about the Bahamas. But yeah, and there's a lot of other
Take
places
us
around there that I know
to
nothing about.
Bermuda,
Say what again?
like Bermuda. Actually, like Bermuda. Do you know?
Like a
Have you heard of Bermuda?
Bermuda Triangle? Is
Yes,
that
the
what you mean?
Bermuda Triangle. So there's a country called Bermuda.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. There's a country now called Bermuda, and it's just part of the Caribbean. I think it's one of the most expensive island in the world right now.
Yeah, and who knows? Another thing I just thought of when you just said that, maybe some of these smaller Caribbean islands that might be really expensive like that, maybe they don't want tourists coming in. Maybe they don't want it to possibly turn into one of those tourist destinations where it's basically going to be a bunch of people coming in and getting drunk and all that other stuff. Maybe they like their peace, but a bigger
Yes.
island, it's
Mhm.
like Jamaica, for example, is going to be different. So
Mhm. Yeah, because
yeah,
I have a friend from Bermuda. We live here in Poland together. He's actually working from Bermuda. He works from the office here, and he makes even a lot of money. He's actually a citizen of Bermuda and also now a citizen of Poland. So he tells me about how expensive Bermuda could be, and luckily enough for me, that's the only Caribbean island that I know somebody, and gave me the perspective of the island. And like he was explaining to me why things are expensive in Bermuda. It's because getting foodstuffs to the island is quite far. Like Bermuda is way inside the sea, into the sea. So getting to that place is either by flight. So sometimes even some food are being served by flight, and also the population is not that big. So those are the effects of
yeah, I can understand that part as far as
whatever.
importing everything. It makes things more expensive
Yes.
because that's how the island of Hawaii is. So almost everything in Hawaii is imported. Same thing with Alaska, even though it's not an island, the way it's situated, almost everything
Yeah.
is imported except the fish. So everything, and I've
And then
I've lived in Alaska doing work, so it's very expensive. When I go to buy like a potato crisp, like a certain brand in the lower, what we call the lower 48, which is all the states within the main part of the U.S. outside of Hawaii and Alaska. The lower 48, this brand at the time, I could get what I purchased for like $3.50. But when I went to Alaska, and this is some years back, it was almost $8 for the same bag. So that's because of the imports. And that was actually on an island, by the way, called Dutch Harbor. So that there are a bunch of islands in Alaska, but even like mainland Alaska with Anchorage, things are very expensive.
Yeah. So we have Monique saying Jamaica crime rate is way higher than Trinidad and Tobago, and never stop tourism from going there. Yeah,
That's a good point.
actually, even a lot of restriction has been given on Jamaica. Not people not to visit. People should visit Jamaica on their own risk, and the numbers have been going crazy.
Yeah.
Adam Dio says Emancipation Day celebration is coming up in the 1st of August. Okay, good to know. We'll keep on tabs that. I think let me save that date. We'll see what's up with the Emancipation Day. And then Bermuda, Cayman, and Bahamas are the most expensive and also known as money laundering islands. Oh, I didn't know that. This. You can walk around alone. Also, that's in Trinidad. Freedom of religion, speech, and freedom of religion. Okay. Or Trini Safa. I think I've seen this channel. This is somebody who was. I think I've seen this. This should be a YouTuber too, a content creator. I will check up on that person too. Bad watchers from Europe. Okay.
Yeah, I'm at his channel right now. I'm wondering is he originally from Trini?
I
But yeah,
think
he's got a lot of Trinidad. He's got the Trinidad. Excuse me. Yeah, Trinidad flag on quite a few of his
you also,
thumbnails.
I see you also got the negative bag, Trinidad bag. Oh, yeah,
Oh man.
that's what we have been trying to tell people. Like you get into this case and it will drain your soul out of the goodness that you are left with, and all you'll be seeing Trinidad. You'll be like, no, it's that bad place that you should not visit. Actually, that
RMGO
could
just
be really sad.
now she's saying that we are new to the tourism game. I can tell you right now, you who's ever into the tourism business, you can generate, for a business owner, a lot of money. It really is. And then of course, you plan out if there's going to be a trend of tourists coming, and you have your peak times of the year and then your low times of the year. You can basically plan out your whole tourism business around the calendar year. And some people have made a lot of money doing that. So if you or anybody else is interested in that and
Our
thinking
country
about it and
did.
other ways to promote it, that's
Our
YouTube is a
country
great
did.
avenue for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and our own country did actually benefit. Remember, one time Kenya was leading, was depending highly on foreign money earned from tourism. Foreign tourism was the biggest earner of what we are depending on in the country.
Yeah.
So tourism is actually big time.
She's also saying a lot of YouTubers,
And also
European
somehow,
YouTubers, are visiting. So
yeah, visiting from
you're
Europe. Yes.
you're about to say somehow what?
No, I said a lot of YouTubers visit from Europe. So she's actually telling us about people visiting. And I don't know if you know about the African Heritage House.
Yes, I do.
It's one of
Very
the
much.
most pictured. Yeah, so this is a house based in the capital city, Nairobi, and it's one of the houses that has various artifacts from every community. Not every community, but some few communities that the person who was known as
All
Alan
over.
Donovan.
Yeah.
Is it, no, I think it's Alan Donovan. Alan Donovan. So what happened with Alan Donovan? He was living in Kenya. I don't know if he was a citizen, but he was living in Kenya. He bought his own land facing the what do you call it?
National Park.
The national park that is within Nairobi. This is the national park, the only national park in the world that is next to, it's half the city, half national park. So he has his own beautiful mansion that he built, since he was an architect, and he collected a lot of artifacts there. And people have been visiting that house. People have come from far to just come and see the house, because every room has a theme. There's a lot of thinking into it. So people are doing, just coming to visit the house and going into other places. Some even will fly to Kenya to see the house and go to South Africa or any other location. So,
Yeah. So
and
basically,
also that brings a lot of knowledge when you have people coming.
yeah, what he had done is he's gone all over Africa and has picking up cultural artifacts that some have been disregarded, or some he's just bought, and some of them are like one of a kind. I remember him speaking about something that he got from Nigeria. I forgot what it was, but he said that the particular tribe in Nigeria no longer makes this anymore. So this is probably the last one on Earth. And so he has stuff like that in that house. And also, it's kind of set up as an Airbnb. So you can actually rent a room in that house. But you'll basically see stuff from North Africa, West Africa, Central, East, and South all throughout that house. And
Yes.
it's one of a kind. And actually, there's a lady in Nigeria. I forget her name, but she's got something very similar to his. And both of them are really, really good friends. She goes to Kenya every year to visit him, and she's got a huge gallery in Lagos, Nigeria, I believe. And but basically, she said she got the idea from him, and he basically just got the idea because he fell in love with Africa. And he's actually an American that moved to Africa and ended up settling in Kenya. So that
But
actually have a link, everybody, if you want to see who he is. That's the link. You can see exactly who the guy is. But go ahead.
I don't think he's still alive, because I saw they were saying there is a condolence in book now in the house.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything about him in probably 5 years almost. So.
yeah. So I think right now it's late. Probably might be late. I will share you the video later. I can't get it now. I'll share you the video that was done yesterday by one of the TV stations. I knew about the place, but I like the way the gentleman did a presentation. And no one gave me that presentation. I just see some artifact when I was visiting.
Hmm.
I didn't have a lot of information about what could be.
And also, I remember an interview of his. The design of the house itself was
Yes,
actually a design, I believe, from Nigeria. It was some West African country. So that's.
Timbuktu,
Oh yeah,
Timbuktu,
there we
the,
go.
the
There
the
we go.
university. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
So he this guy was seriously into it, and
yeah. Actually, all the design, the way of building, was all African. There was nothing borrowed from outside. Maybe the floors could be similarly borrowed, but also that floors is common in my area, where cities have been there for over 1,000 years. Right, I think right now it's 500, 600 years, or 1,000 years. The city of Mombasa, we have been having floor houses before even the concrete. This is from mangrove, and that's what they did in this house. I'm actually thinking of doing the same house. I think it's quite safe for the environment, and also, it's much way. It's not. I'm not talking about cheaper to build that way, but it's just I find it to be more safe and economic friendly to the environment. So Monique says those are the independent countries over. Those are overseas tax territories and tax havens like Cayman Islands that belongs to the British. Okay. So here's the story about the African Heritage Home, and RM Go says the red bird is scarlet. Okay, I think I read about that. And then so Waihomi says Maru actually does a good job showcasing some countries. I never thought I would visit, all the shenanigans from his village. He's part of the shenanigans too. But you have to understand that Marwa does this to actually make people watch him. Like, he creates that friction. Now that he's becoming a father, I don't know. He just reduced the shenanigans, and somehow he just became a normal YouTuber. So people are not watching him that much like before. Or you had something to say?
that's a good point. the YouTubers who left was in the gang areas.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yes, all of them. Yes, and they were guilty as per charge, because I believe when somebody is guilty, you will see them either quiet or you will see them getting themselves out of the problem.
All right, so I don't know about you, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna get going. Um, it's been good talking about this.
Yeah,
Actually, I wanted to
I,
talk about
I
something
just wanted
different.
to highlight this. Yes, I wanted to
Go
just
ahead.
highlight this so that it could be out there. People will not take it. People will have something to depend on. Some people have something to discuss more than the case that is happening. Because I found a lot of people are actually disturbed by all this, and you could see people even sharing their own point whereby they'll be like, please arrest the man, it's too much for us. Or some people will be like, why are you getting your noses up is issue. But I'm like, he's been doing this, so if he does that to Trinidad, how are you sure that he will not do it to another African country when he come back?
Yeah, very true. Very true. So we
Yes.
haven't heard the
So I
last
don't
of
know
CML.
what is
So
your opinion before we can.
what are my
Mhm.
opinions about him?
Maybe I'll play. Uh-huh. Keep on, continue.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really want to talk about him. My opinion is, and my last closing thoughts here is that people really don't need to be afraid of information. When you're gathering information, um, you can take it with a grain of salt, but just take it like, a responsible adult. That if I'm going to go to such a place, and now I know which areas to avoid because I got information on areas to avoid. And I bet you anything, when you get to that place and you actually talk to somebody that's probably going to be giving you the tour of the island, or somewhere else that's on the mainland somewhere, and you bring that up, they're going to most likely say, yes, those are the places you want to avoid. And so you don't have to be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's not, like I said, it's not a war torn country. People
Yes.
are going there. Our MGO says a bunch of YouTubers that from Europe go there, and they didn't flee. The people that were in the gang areas are the ones that left. So he left by running away, basically. So yeah, my closing thoughts is don't be afraid of the information that you get. Don't be afraid to visit these places. If it's really in your heart to visit, whether if it's from somebody's video or from somebody that lives next door to you that's from that place, just go ahead and make the arrangements and take your much needed holiday. And especially if you're the exploring type of person, you like to explore information while you're on the location, then that's what you need to do. Just don't be afraid to go to these places. Just get the information that you need and then go buy that ticket and go. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, me too. I believe right now, when I looked about Trinidad, and I looked about the case, and I also looked about like the website from visit Trinidad.tt, and I think people should go and visit this channel, this website. It gives you very valuable information when where to stay. So when I looked into it, I was like, I think we are the ones missing out. We need to travel right. We need to have right information. We need to have a clear intention of visiting an area and not going there to cause damage, but actually create something that will be of benefit to the community. Those are the things that I'm actually learning, and I'm also learning that not everything that could happen to somebody could also happen to you because you're in the same field. I think some people, their ethics is not right, and that's why sometimes they get kicked out.
I agree.
Yes. So for me, those are the things that I wanted to say today about Trinidad and Tobago. People need to stop the case and just look into the country, look into the will of the people, what makes the people strong, what has been their lifestyle there, and I'm surprised. I will not be surprised if somebody comes and says that they found out something extraordinary, because I know that could be a high possibilities for sure.
Exactly. All right. Well, Kenny
Yeah.
living abroad, thank you for having me on. I'm going to go ahead and go. And thank you, everybody in the chat. I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
all
I
being
think
here
we should
and
end it.
sharing with
Yeah.
us.
Yes, our beaches are unspoiled, especially Tobago. You can have a beach for yourself in Tobago. For today, I think we will end it today. We'll try and get another video either on Tuesday and discuss more about other things regarding visiting to Trinidad and Tobago. And we'll see you in another episode. Thank you for tuning in. It's actually right here on my side. So we will discuss more on the next episode. Thank you so much for coming around. I appreciate it a lot. And for those who have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I'm left with only 50 subscribers. We can reach the 500 mark. If you have somebody, maybe you can appreciate that. This time I'll just close in 30 seconds. Thank you so much. Welcome.